Dentistry, depression, and death. This is a very common life cycle for dentists today, and it is a massive problem. Look, a person chooses to become a dentist for 3 reasons. They want to help people, make good money, and live a good life. Then reality sets in, their life doesn't meet the expectations that they were hoping for, and that is where the depression kicks in. They start questioning, why did I choose this profession? Did I make a mistake? Then they try to find their way out of the darkness. Some are successful while others are not. That's where death occurs. Hey, I'm Dr. Avi, and on this channel, I help dentists thrive. I talk about clear aligners, the reality of dentistry, all while keeping it raw and authentic. So if you're considering becoming a dentist, or if any of the things that I just described sounds like you need to pay attention and watch this video. So let's get into it. Would you sacrifice 4 years of your life in your 20s, take a $796,000 bet on yourself to learn a basic level of skills that result in you working 6 days a week for over 20 years and you had no guarantee whether or not you were even going to be able to pay back that amount? Well, Frank took that bet on himself when he decided to become a dentist and he attended USC Dental. He wanted to be a dentist because he wanted to make good money, have the ability to control his schedule, and help people. He realized very quickly after graduating that this was not the reality because he only knew how to do the very basics of dentistry like cavity fillings, simple crowns, and some root canals. On top of that, he could only charge a couple $100s for these procedures because that's how much they're worth. This is a huge problem because he has a massive load of debt hanging over his head and he just cannot help but think about it. So if he can't make enough money to pay back his loans, he's going to have to work more, which means he's going to be in the office more and at home with his family less, which is going to lead to him burning out and hating his life. All of this to leave him wondering, was this even worth it? A lot of dentists feel this way because there is a huge difference between the debt to income ratio when it comes to being a dentist. The latest numbers show that a dentist who graduates from USC Dental will have accumulated a total of $796,000 in student debt over the course of the loan. To put things into perspective, the average dentist makes around $125,000 their first couple years out of dental school. This number changes based on the location, the types of procedures that the dentist offers, and all that kind of stuff. But $125K is about an average. You would think that when you took out that $700,000 loan to become a dentist that you'd be able to know how to do a lot of procedures, especially ones that you could charge a premium for. But that's not reality. So let's say you wanted to do those high ticket procedures. Well, you'd have to invest in a course, and courses can range anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000. Then you have to go back to your practice and actually implement that procedure. Also, if you're interested in getting a free resource to learn how to implement clear aligners, be sure to sign up for my free masterclass. The link for that's in the description below. And so when you have this type of landscape in the industry, this is what I call the toxic cycle of dentistry. So basically, dentists graduate dental school, they go out, they find associate jobs. They want to work really hard for the dentists that they have been employed by, and they want to learn. And so they go in and they do their best, but for one reason or another, it doesn't end up working out. So then the associate loses their job, they have to go find another job. And at that job, it's more or less the same thing. Some things are going well, some things not going so well. And then they end up losing their job or they end up leaving. So there's this massive void inside the dentist, but then there's also this idea that they feel like if they were the owner, they could do it better. So what do? They go and they open their own practice. But when they do that, they're not realizing that they have zero business acumen. They have no idea what it takes to be a small business owner. Mind you, they're just figuring out how to be a dentist. And so they end up getting a loan from the bank. They start practicing. They realize now they have to try to become a better clinician and a better business owner. Forget better. They just have to be a good business owner. They're struggling to do both. They hire an associate to help them take off the load. They mistreat the associate because they don't actually know why they're hiring the associate to begin with. Everything's a big mess. They end up traumatizing that associate. That associate gets upset and leaves, and then the cycle continues. Do you see how this is not helping anybody? And so when you take all these factors together, combined with the fact that the work that these dentists are doing at a very basic level is not actually fulfilling to them, this is where the depression can kick in. That emotional hit that dentists take when their expectations don't meet their reality is massive, and it's not talked about enough. This can leave them feeling alone, lost, confused, and depressed. And if this sounds like you, please don't hesitate to reach out. You are not alone. You're experiencing something that so many other people are, and believe it or not, it's actually the norm in this field. Before we move forward in the video, please share your thoughts below in a comment. This helps spark the conversation, and it also shows YouTube that you're enjoying the video or at least finding some value from it. So YouTube will then promote this out to other people who need to watch it. Thank you in advance. So if you thought dentists have incredible schedules where they only work a couple days a week and they don't have to do much outside of that, you are wrong. A lot of dentists are working 5, even 6 days a week. An office that I worked at actually required me to work 6 days a week every other week, which meant I had 1 day off for half the month, which meant I had a total of 6 days off every single month. I know for other professions that this is normal, and there's going to be a bunch of people in the comments saying all the other jobs where people have to work 6 days a week. But I'm not going to lie. When I chose to become a dentist, it was not because I was super excited to work 6 days a week. Part of the reason why I chose this profession was because of the fact that I thought dentists didn't have to work that much. And I was wrong. And if you're an older dentist watching this, you're probably laughing at me because you know, but guess what? A majority of people don't think like that. And I get it. In the beginning, you got to earn your stripes and you got to put in the work. But what's crazy is that if I stayed at that office long term, there was no light at the end of the tunnel. They would have kept working me 6 days a week. And so luckily I had found other offices that I could work at where the schedule was a little bit more flexible, but I had to be super intentional about that. And so that's something that you should know before you go accepting jobs left and right. Again, early in your career, sometimes you do have to take jobs that aren't ideal to your schedule, but as long as you are learning and improving and you're finding value in that position, it's worth a shot. So when you're working all these days a week as a dentist in the dental chair, this ends up taking a massive physical toll on you and your body. You're spending a long time in the chair. You're hyper focused with your eyes, working in fractions of millimeters. You start to get neck pain. You start to get back pain. You start to hunch over in the chair because you're so tired and you have a weak core. Sure, you might have loops that you throw on to help with your posture, but at the end of the day, your head is still tilted forward, so there's a lot of pressure on your neck. This is why it's extremely important for dentists to invest in their physical health. Things like scheduling regular massages or trips to the chiropractor, making stretching a part of your normal routine, focusing a lot on your core strength will also help with your posture and other things. All these things are good for you. And yes, they cost money, but look at it as an investment. It's an investment into you and your longevity. It's funny because I'm telling you to spend all this money after I told you how expensive it was to become a dentist and how little you might make. But hey, it comes with the job. Because if you don't invest in yourself from a clinical standpoint, physical standpoint, and a mental standpoint, you're going to suffer and it's going to seep into other areas of your life. And this is where death can occur. It can be as extreme and saddening as someone taking their own life because all the pressure amounts to something that they just cannot handle anymore, or their passion for their career dies out completely. And they either continue practicing as a shell of a human being who hates their life and hates their job, or they leave the profession entirely. Look, if you liked this video or found any value from it, you are going to want to check out my super viral video that I made. It's about suicide in dentistry. It's got over 500,000 views and I think you'll enjoy it. I'll see you in there.